Hello, welcome back to another day in the arena. It is me, it is CGB, and today we have a new quest. That quest is to play, what was it, something ridiculous? Something crazy. Let's see. 40 lands! We have to play 40 lands! I have faith in us to play 40 lands, but in the spirit of the quest, we've made a deck to complete that quest as quickly as possible, as awesomely as possible. This is a JUND ramp deck that takes it all the way up to the top rope for fun cards like Darigaaz Reincarnated, who I've never seen cast in the game so far, so hopefully today is the day. We have Star of Extinction, Sandwurm Convergence, Multani, kind of awesome, some of the value things you can do with this card, Vraska. We also have a big old pile of lands with all the deserts that do neat interactive things like Hashep Oasis and Ramunap Ruins and Scavenger Grounds, Grasping Dunes, Arch of Orazca, cycling lands, cycling deserts. Also, and to get all that, make all that stuff happen, we have ways to put lands into play. Ramunap Excavator lets us play lands from the graveyard, which is hopefully a fun little crazy thing we'll get to do. Gift of Paradise doesn't put an extra land into play, but it's just too good as a ramp card to not include in the deck. Treasure Map makes treasures and helps us cast things earlier. Grow from the Ashes searches our library for lands, puts them on the battlefield, and so does Hour of Promise. So this one quite specially says it puts any land onto the battlefield. Search for up to 2 lands. Most cards that say basic land, but not this one. So we can get neat deserts and tricksy things. And then we support them with a lot of sweepers. We are blowing up the board today. Hour of Devastation, Sweltering Suns in the deck. Fight with Fire is in the deck, and kicking it is not out of the question. We do have a Struggle to Survive for graveyard shenanigans. We have 2 Cut to Ribbons, and the ribbon side is really a big part of what makes this a JUND deck, as burning the opponent out with the ribbons isn't unrealistic. And we have 4 copies of Shivan Fire, which hasn't seen a ton of play, but in this deck, kicking it to deal that 4 damage instead of that 2 does come up. So yeah, that's what we're gonna rock today. Let's dive in and see what happens. There are flash events running today, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to finish our task in the ranked queue, so that's where we'll go. Our opponent checking out their hand, not a snap keep. Or they just had to go to the bathroom or something. All right, we've got a Grow from the Ashes that we can cast, 2 Shivan Fires, and a Sweltering Suns, so this is a keeper. We're ready for aggro. Our opponent passing the turn. What is this? Our opponent spots us turn 1. I wonder if that was a mistake. Well, what do you know? Okay, and here is a fishy. So, this rate, I think I'll just let this all happen and just hang out over here and try to get some Sweltering Suns powered up. See if we can catch them with a good one this next turn, or if we're just going to use a Shivan Fire before we cast cards like Hour of Promise. No problem. So our opponent appeared to have the lands. Perhaps hitting end of turn was just a strict mistake there. And here comes Humana. Ooh. I suppose what I'll have to do is kick a Shivan Fire. So this turn, let's deal 2 damage to the Mistbinder. It'll also encourage my opponent to play more critters, so that's good. There's a Gift of Paradise, that's fine draw for the moment. When we play our Gifts of Paradise, we do it on our basic lands, not our non-basic lands, because Field of Ruin's a very popular card in the format. Now next turn we'll have 5 to kick on Kumena here. Yeah, our opponent seems to have plenty of land. That turn 1 must have been a boo-boo. Oh, here we go. Never mind, they're gonna make it bigger. How big can they make it? Alright. Okay, the Pioneer arrives. And now we'll have to do a combination with Sweltering Suns and Shivan Fire to make sure that these things die. Alright, add 2 mana, make it red. Yep. Okay, let's see, this comes into the battlefield untapped. So if we search for a mountain, we can still play the Shivan Fire. It would be a bad time to be wrong about that, but I'm not, thank goodness. Sure, I scared somebody out there. And here's the problem with the Merfolk deck. It still has a full hand. The problem for us, not for the Merfolk deck. It still has a lot of cards left to play. It makes it playing against Merfolk very scary. As they always seem to have more fish on the way. See, we have 2 deserts now. Oh my goodness, another Kumena. Another Kumena! Why? Alright, the Shivan Fire. We have to make sure we have 5 mana up for when Kumena gets cast. Ugh. Or we can just take out the Elite, which might be the better play. I think what I want to definitely do is get this Hour of Promise off while I can. It's going to be important to kill the Kumena, but I can get creative on how I do that. So one of my cards here needs to be a desert. Alright, and I think it should be the Deadlands. And the other one that we can do is the Grasping Dunes, which is also a desert, and also works well with the Excavator, but so does the Deadlands. And then, like, do I need to get my Arch of Orazca right now, for example, to draw more cards? I think I'll just grab both of these, as killing the opponent's stuff is going to be what's very important for a while. So if my opponent has a dive down, this gets blown up. I'm also trying to think, is it more important that I just kill the Kumena? I think it is. I think it's more important that Kumena dies. Also, my opponent is holding priority. It does make me nervous that there's some dive down or spell pierce involved. Okay, unsummon. Well, with you tapped out, remember, I didn't hold up enough mana to kill the Kumena. If I don't kill this and he puts a counter on it, then the Shivan Fire can't kill the Kumena, so that was a bad line anyway. But we caught it before disaster struck. Drawing more Sweltering Suns and more Hours of Devastation would be very nice right now. Here it comes. Is there another Merfolk to go with the Kumena? Of course there is. And of course it's one that's very hard to deal with. It makes everything else harder to kill. Alright, so now we need to start killing things. So black, colorless, colorless, sacrifice a desert, and take you out, and I'll sacrifice this desert, because it's the one I'm least likely to use for a while. Use key mana, draw on a card. That goes down. Alright. Now we play you. And we can play this desert from our graveyard. And now we can sacrifice the Grasping Dunes. Target the Adept. And we can replay this every turn as long as we have the Excavator. And now we're going to grind at our opponent with lands. And any merfolk they have that's 1 or 2 toughness we can just kill. Unfortunately, Kumana keeps them drawing cards, so we're in an interesting showdown. As long as they have the Kumana, they might be able to stay in this game if they're drawing well. And as long as we have the Excavator, we can keep killing their stuff as long as we're drawing almost anything. So I think we're favored, but we will see. I mean, it's a very good one. We can't target the hexproof creature, and it lets him draw more cards with Kumana right away. So, very obnoxious. Very, very obnoxious. If we had 10 mana total, we could use the Deadlands and kill the Kumana, but I guess our opponent doesn't want to play the game anymore and has seen enough. So, off we go. So we got credit for playing 6 lands that game. So it appears that the Spirit of the Quest that I alluded to earlier doesn't really apply here. It looks like they're only going to give us credit for the lands we play from our hand, although perhaps from the graveyard might matter too. So, like ramping doesn't appear to give us quest credit, is what I'm trying to say. We'll keep this hand. Our opponent took a mulligan. We'll see what happens. This might be too slow against red. We are reliant on drawing more land. I always lead with the red tap land if I have to choose one because of the Shivan Fires that I might be able to play for 1 mana if I have to play another tap land the following turn. Opponent having a look at our deserts, our crafty deserts. And there is the mountain, so now we can gift. Our opponent's sitting on 2 lands. Is it vampires? Is it something different? They must have something to cycle, like a cast out. Yep, there we go. Pause timers on empty boards are kind of just always mean cast outs these days. So our opponent with 1 blue, it looks like Esper control. I think we'll get the Hour going. Make our opponent have Supreme Will or some counter here for it. And they don't appear to, or they don't care to, one of the two. We want to grab at least 1 desert, as a desert will trigger the Zombos to come out and play. I don't need any particular color, so I'm going to grab Scavenger Grounds. It's useful against Search for Azcanta, but so is Field of Ruin. But Scavenger Grounds is the desert, and I'll grab the Arch, because drawing a bunch of cards is probably the best way to compete with a control deck. And now maybe one of our zombies will bite the dust. It has been cast down. So it has been cast down. Can't cast down to Darigaaz. Should we draw one? A Sheltered Thicket shows up. Lead by charging in with our zombie. Then I think that the right play this turn is to continue growing our mana advantage. And now we can get that Field of Ruin. If our opponent doesn't counter it, okay, that's fine. We'll resolve our treasure map. And we'll play this thicket. Not too worried about needing to cycle it right this minute. Let's stop on upkeep so we can check our top card with treasure map before we draw it. 5 mana does Scarab God maybe? Oh, nope. It's the new Scarab God, Teferi. The hero.
Keep up the pace.
Everybody's favorite card. Alright. On upkeep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Angrath is interesting. Interesting dynamic with the fairy. Uh-huh. Okay, so big decision time. Seven. So we could go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then have 2. That's not good. Could play gift. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and play Angrath. We could also just play Vraska. Don't know how good Vraska is here. It can just get buried back in the deck by Teferi after making a 2/2. Angrath seems a lot more annoying. If it gets buried, it took a card down with it. But of course, if he buries Vraska, he still has to kill the 2/2. I suppose. If he doesn't have a solution right now, he could be in trouble. But if he has a way to kill the 2/2, and he can bury the Vraska, well, straight up.
Need to move quickly.
So either he does not ever minus Teferi as a practice, or the Vraska is going to get handled. Put an upkeep stop again, so that we can use our map, try to improve our draw. Yep, there's the contempt. Vraska destroyed by her own contempt. As was said on coverage once in a pretty funny joke, is the hardest person to love is yourself. Nope. Need to do better. Need to do better. We're going to face down this Teferi successfully. Third cast down. Our opponent loving their cast downs. Wish I had a Darigaaz to light up those cast downs. Okay, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gets us 1, 2, and then we can play Angrath. So we just need to make sure we have a black open at the end of it. And I guess I have a swamp in my deck that I can go get. Swamp and a mountain. Alright.
Please run.
Have a
No
chain.
fire,
Brah.
no steel.
Uh-huh. Yeah, land. Nothing too impressive about that. I wish that Ramunap Ruins still could hit Planeswalkers. That was one thing from the errata
I'm
that
not done yet.
actually hurt this deck. Not mono red in particular. They don't often care about Planeswalkers very much, but for ramp decks that need to deal with Planeswalkers, it actually hurt. Let's see what our opponent does now. And they've got Teferi. They're drawing cards all over the place. Okay, just passing turn. That does touch Teferi and keeps it off ultimate, so I think I have to keep that. It is a little too bad. Alright, main. Let's hit him with that Angrath. Hit him up style.
No fire,
that Angrath.
no steel.
So crunk, so ghetto, so amazing. Alright, let's fire up the green. Oops. And I think we just have to devastate while we can. If our opponent gets time to draw with this, and then untap and draw with this and 3 more cards, they may find a counter spell, which would be a very negative experience. Sit out there drawing multiple cards a turn, but we're making them discard multiple cards a turn, but we can draw multiple cards a turn, and this is just going to be a showdown. A showdown.
Let's skip to the good part.
Hey, did our opponent not draw with Arch? I think they missed the Arch. In the meantime, we have to dig up a Field of Ruin. We're drawing a lot of land. Ooh, Scarab God's here. Okay. Oh, no creatures on either side, so it can attack Angrath, and that's probably the biggest problem with the Scarab God right this minute. I'd like my Hour of Devastation back now, please. My goodness. Well, we know he's going up. It's not a mystery.
No fire, no steel.
Another land hits the bin. Okay. How's this doing? Is the opponent holding a cast out? That would be a very good draw. Or perhaps they're holding Scarab God activation, but there's no targets. It's kind of interesting. Oh, we have a removal spell, do we? Cast down number 4. Our opponent does love their cast down so far. They are making their case for the card. Huh? Okay, never mind. Teferi does not minus.
Hold that thought.
Opponent's Teferi will never minus. Interesting spot. Did they pick up a removal spell that can hurt the worm? They don't really want to trade their Scarab God with the worm, or Scavenger Grounds can exile the Scarab God. But do they have another option? So far we've seen a lot of interesting card choices. Enchantments, not always the easiest permanents to pick off. Oh my, it is happening. I think he attacked me. I think he attacked me and not Angrath. So we could have tried to... I'm going to try to kill the Teferi. That's what I'm going to try to do. It may not work. May be greedy. But if he couldn't... If he was willing to trade it this turn, it means it's not highly valued, and he'll probably be willing or try to trade it in the future. Ixalan's Binding. That's obnoxious. On the Convergence. Okay. Now what? Does our opponent have a seal away, perhaps? Shivan Fire. You can't touch a planeswalker, only a creature. We definitely go up.
No fire, no steel.
Another land to the bin. Let's see what our treasure cove reveals. If nothing else, this is giving us a lot of time to work on our quest. Okay, I want to leave you up. 4, and we'll go 5, and we'll draw. Sweltering Suns. Is it the seal away? It is. Had to make sure. Can't be sure without it. Okay, now because of the Scarab God, I think what we want to do is knock Scarab God into the graveyard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we can exile it. So everything's gonna be okay. Can I play this too? Let's see. I need 1, 2. I need these untapped, and 1, 2, 3, 2. No, I cannot. All right.
You fool.
Alright, sack one of my other deserts so I keep the Scavenger Grounds around. Glad we picked it up earlier. And we're back to the face-off. Teferi and Angrath having a showdown. Just flinging cards at each other. Let's see. It's too bad that Vraska's gone. Would have been much better to take out this binding.
Hurry!
Oh my, main phase Arch. So my opponent must have a card they wish to protect, but they have left the door open if we can find another Hour of Devastation or something to remove Teferi. Or they have another one. Or they're going to untap 2 lands anyway and have a counterspell. So maybe I'm getting optimistic. I should know better. I should know better against Teferi. Optimism is for the foolish. Oh my. Is it worth it? Is it worth it?
No fire, no steel.
Duress goes down, so he's got a good set of cards in hand. Is it worth it to kill a Teferi? I just fear that my opponent's going to play another one anyway. Angrath is kind of keeping us in it. If Angrath were to die, though... Ooh. My, what a mess. Well, I think we go for it. I think it's time. Teferi's just so good. It keeps complete control of the game.
You'll be
Losing
nothing
Angrath
but
is sad.
slag. We will
Slot
try
value.
to make it fast. You're on your own.
1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Green. Nope. Actually. Green. Colorless. Colorless. Play this. And we're just going to draw the card now. We're not holding up anything anyway. Not sure what our opponent's fidgeting with, but it appears to be a Supreme Will. So they're probably digging for another Teferi, which, of course, heartbreaking if that were the case. They also have another card that they like very much. We're going to have to draw more answers than we already have. Staying right on pace with our opponent card-wise, despite a turn 5 Teferi that was out there for seemingly forever. Just main phase pull from tomorrow, huh? Just when I thought we were keeping up cards-wise. Come on, opponent. Why can't we be friends? Why do you have to do this? Just give me a target. My opponent's at 10 from all those Angrath triggers? How many deserts do we have? 1, 2, 3 right now. Our opponent's at virtual 4. If we can get this in the graveyard, life is great. But in the meantime, we better just leave that untapped in case we do want to start using it. There's another desert. Yeah, it may be time to start heading upstairs with Ramunap Ruins. Phase. Our opponent, maybe they don't play counter spells. We've seen it Supreme well, but if that's the only counter, perhaps they don't anticipate being able to use it because of the massive amount of lands that we have. And a Censor, okay, that does explain some things. What? They are digging aggressively on their own turn. I'm trying to think of what that could be for, but perhaps they're just losing patience with this game. Let's start doming them. We have a lot of deserts in the deck and ways to get deserts back. Let's see, colorless. Colorless, colorless. Just make sure we tap those ones. Arch. Roar. Does our opponent have an Essence Scatter? They may have a Seal Away. Probably should have targeted my Darigaaz with Cut before I attacked. I might regret that. Boo! Boo! You know fun. You know fun. You are no fun at all. Yep. Missed that one. Oh boy. Here we go again. Here we go again.
No time for a break.
Whoa. All right. Another good one. Hard to be sad about that. What you got? Be a good time for a spell swindle. Oh, our opponent does play negate. Okay. What an odd game we are having. I guess I'm just gonna start going up top. We just need to draw one more desert for this line to pay off. I think I can get there. I believe in me. What are they fidgeting with now? Yeah, sure.
Let's skip to the good part.
One more desert. Just gotta find me one more desert in here. They may have an approach to the second sun, which, you know, bummer. Oh, the Primal Tide. I see. I see. Okay. That is a creature. Do they have more negates? Well, I can't goof around. I just can't goof around. We gotta go for it. Oh, that gives me my desert though. We could see, so let's see. We play this, we only needed 1, 2, and then 1, 2, and then 6. So that's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we can go for this first. No big reason not to. And if our opponent counters or kills it... Alright. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I guess I should get under the Supreme Will. I was going to do it for 2 more because of Vraska's Contempt. But I guess if he has that, I still have Ramunap Ruins. Oh yeah, he's moving. He's moving. He's got to play. Renegades. Okay. Now we'll watch him fidget with his big old hand of cards. Okay. Hey, I'm alright with that. It's not a Vraska's Contempt. Which I think our opponent played way earlier. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, they did have one very early in the game. Alright, the race is on.
Keep up the pace.
I guess we try to hit more lands. Can't hurt. The Hour. Nope. Don't need to do that. Let's see, if he ultimates it the turn after I untap, go 2, untap, go 2, he targets it with the Exile ability. Yeah, I probably should have just been going for it the whole time with the Ruins, and I just got distracted by other draws that looked good.
I'm not done yet.
The Ruins is probably much harder to interact with. "13 cards, huh? There's only one Ramunap Ruins, so if he remembers to exile it with the Teferi, I don't think I can win. Let's see. Wish I could untap my land. What I should have done with the Excavator is double Ruined. I could have Ruined, sack my Ruin, get back Ruin. Could have been fun. Oh well. Maybe there's another cut to ribbons, and we can sneak through the negate wall one more time. No, no. You're not it. But I guess we should try to hit it. Okay. See, the thing is, he'll ultimate to fairy, and then if he draws a card with this, he can target the ruins, which leaves my opponent at 2. So I need to cycle, and I need to hit something. Field of Ruin. Okay. So now he'll just have to find another way to draw a card after he ultimates to fairy for this to work. Very feasible. He just needs a cast out, a pull from tomorrow, something like that. But at least we'll make him have it. At least we'll make him try. Now let's look around. We still have a fight with fire. That could come out. Jaya Ballard doesn't do it. Cut could do it. So cut and fight with fire are my sneaky burn you outs. We also have him at 11 cards, but we're not going to live long enough to deck our opponent here. Yeah, if I hadn't gone for Darigaaz,
Farewell.
if I hadn't gone for Star of Extinction, if I'd just done nothing but use Ruins, I think we could have won the game.
Right on schedule.
Oh, Teferi, you are so obnoxious.
Hold that thought.
Our opponent finds their own Field of Ruin, so they'll probably take out our Arch, giving us one last draw, and they probably have like 10 negates in their hand, so can't expect to win. But that's the annoying thing about Control, is you always just have to hang on because you're never sure. You can't be sure. It could all be garbage. All day, man. All day you can divest. Okay. Top of the deck says top of the deck says not today. We gave it our best shot. Alright, we're only halfway on this quest, so maybe I won't be able to complete this quest today. We are 44 minutes in. Let's try to do one more. I hate to make videos that long. Well, no I don't. Who am I kidding? I make videos that long all the time. I always say I'm going to try to keep them shorter, and yet we end up in games like that last one. Try this hand. Looks fun. Maybe we'll actually see Jaya do something for the first time ever in the history of Jaya. Alright, green-white Knight of Grace. So, if it's a fair, like, green-white mid-range type deck, I think we're pretty happy about that, but you never know. You never know what's coming. Man, if I played Jaya right now, I don't even know what I'd do with it. Star of Extinction to blow up itself. Kind of weird. And then she'd just die. So, oh Jaya. I guess that's something. So we can go like this, and we can go like this.
Keep making that face. Is it hot in here, or is it
And
just
then we can go like this. I guess that's we did it. We sort of protected her. And then we can Star of Extinction our opponent the next turn and kill her. God. Oh, it doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right at all. Our opponent did not even attack her. What a hater. Alright. So, I think what I can do... I can play this. I can discard this to Jaya and then play it off the Excavator. Do I want to discard anything else? I don't think so.
Pyromancy requires quickness of mind.
Okay. So that's a nifty, fun combo. See if our opponent remembers to attack the Planeswalker this time, or if they just didn't want to. Yeah, here's a cast out, so they're like, fine. Fine, I'll cast her out. I didn't care for her one bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So going up to 6 here. We can use some Grasping Dunes, tick away on the voice, or we can build up our mana. Because remember, we don't get to play an extra land per turn with the Excavator, we just get to play a land out of our graveyard. So what we could do is put the dunes there, but then we already played our land for the turn, so that's not good, I would say. I think what we want to do is get Convergence out. So this turn is lame, but it's in preparation for a greater good. Yep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, get them out there. Get them all out there. Let's see if they have a solution for the Convergence. Jam! What you got now, sir? Another cast out? An Ixalan's Binding? I'll still have a 5/5, and right now his flyer cannot attack. The Jade Light Ranger, yes, good, good. Although our opponent found their land pocket. Okay. What do you think, guys? Is it time? Is it time to rain on their parade? Oh my. Next turn. Let's see here. Well, we got the City's Blessing. I hate blowing up my Excavator, but that board, it just has to die. Wow. I hope you enjoyed that animation as much as I did. There's likely a seal away over here, but we do need to get it out of our opponent's hand to make Multani better. Oh, maybe not. This leaves 2 mana, so I could grow for 1, but I think I'd rather grow for 2 next turn. I am Groot. Anybody else? Anybody else think this is just Groot? I wish it said I am Groot when the animation came out. Carney T. Do I just have lethal? Blocks here, takes 10, eats ribbons. Yep. And that'll do it. Star of Extinction, Sandwurm Convergence, Multani. Playing with the big guns. Alright, I'm gonna end this video there. Let's assume, I think we can all assume, that I'll get to that 40 lands with a little bit more work. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.